Hello, welcome to the first tutorial about creating a blockchain wallet using AWS Amplify, AWS CDK, and React Native. Let's start. In my first blog post, I will explain how to install AWS Amplify CLI, AWS CDK, and also some configurations. So let's do it step by step. First, I click in the first link. Here I install AWS Amplify CLI. After installation finish, then we are going to configure or Amplify CLI. So we wait for this one to finish. I need to log into my AWS account for this. As you see, I am already logged in, so I just hit enter and wait. Now you see I can select the region. I select US East. Okay, I select US East 1, and as you may see, it shows me two things. One is a guide how to configure CLI, and also here to create a username. This username is the username that Amplify will use to create the resources on our behalf. So we name it AWS Amplify admin CLI. And we go to attach policies directly, and we attach attach administrator access Amplify. Click next and create user. Click on the user that you just created, AWS Amplify admin CLI, and click on create access key other, and then next, and no tag. Now we have access key and secret access key. We copy the access key, go back to the terminal, press enter. Then it will ask us for access key ID. We copy the access key ID and paste it here. Then it asks us secret access key. Copy this, we paste it here, and enter. Profile name AWS. So we create our new user. Now let's go to the second part of the guide and install and configure AWS CDK. Okay, we start by installing the CDK CLI. Because I installed it before, it will give me an error if I run it like this. But if I put a force at the end of the command, then it will be fine. So we install the CLI and let's check it. You see we have a version 2.144. Okay, next is to create a user that we can give it to AWS CDK so it can create resources on our behalf. So for that, I will tell you how to do it. You go to IAM and go to users and click on create user and name it AWS CDK, AWS CDK admin, CDK CLI admin. Click on next and click on attach policies directly, and here click on create policy. Open it in new tab because you will need this tab. Then it asks us to specify our permissions. Click on JSON and go to blog post and click on this link, copy it and paste it here. After pasting it here, you can click next, and it wants the policy name. So we give it AWS CDK CLI admin role. Okay, we copy the name and then we create the policy. Then we go back here and refresh and then search the name AWS CDK CLI admin. Click on it, click on next and click on create user. So let's find our user. The username is AWS CDK CLI admin. Click on it and create the access key. Other, next, no tag value, and here we have access key ID and secret access key. You can also download them here. So now you have them here. Now let's go to the last step in the tutorial. The last step says clone the backend repository from here and deploy to your AWS account. Let's go to this link. This is the backend repo. Create a cognito user pool so we can start doing our authentication. Click on HTTPS and copy it. After that, go to your command prompt. You will create a new folder. Okay, here git clone and this one. Just wait until the clone finishes, then do cd and then npm install. While it's installing it, we go and configure the user for CDK. So how it works, open your code editor. For me is Visual Studio Code. If you go to your AWS folder, you will have two files. AWS folder in Windows is under your username, like users, your name, and then .aws. In Mac, you can find the location online because I'm not sure exactly where is that, but it shouldn't be hard to find. So you have the config and credential. This is the one that AWS Amplify just created in the tutorial that we talked at the start. And we are going to create another one. Name it AWS CDK CLI admin. Then after you have this, you should go to the credential file. And in credential file, as you see, we have some access key IDs. In here, you will create something like this, and this is the access key ID and secret key for my other user, and for the user we just downloaded here, it's Okay, now our user is set up already. We just need to copy this access key that you see here. These are sensitive informations. You shouldn't share it with anyone like I'm doing now, because after I record the video, I will revoke these credentials, but you should know you always should keep them secure. And also, this is not the best way to connect to AWS services. So the best way is using identity federations. So for that, you can check AWS CDK docs. But for us, for now, this one is sufficient. So we copy the username, and after that, we are going to use it in our repo. If we go back to our tutorial, so we go back to our wallet that we just clone, and now we are going to use this user to deploy the resources to our AWS account via AWS CDK. So we do this. Open the repo in your local and then go to CDK JSON. And you just need to change this profile name to the name of the profile that you created. And then we need to run npx CDK bootstrap first. And then npx CDK synth. And then npx CDK deploy. And now our resources are ready to use on AWS. So let's go through the code and see what we are creating in this repo. First, let me tell you a little about the packages that I use here. The main packages that I want to talk about. First one is Husky. Husky and Lint Stage together are the utilities that we use to sanitize our commit messages. So that's the reason we're using these. Also, we use Prettier. Prettier is the utility that we use to make the code well structured in terms of styling. Jest, TSJest are the libraries that we use for testing. And actually we can run the test now so you can see. npm run test. So we have only one stack file here, so we have one test also, so it will run. Now let's go through the repo. In here is the file that create individual stacks. You see here we import Cognito user pool stack, and then we create it here. So to see what is inside Cognito user pool stack, it's inside lib directory. And we create a Cognito user pool here. We name it crypto wallet user pool, and it has some properties like auto verify and sign in alias. These makes AWS Cognito to send an email. Anybody sign up to our app with the email and ask them to verify their email. We have the password policy here that we create here. So you see I put only 8 characters, and I don't require any uppercase, lowercase symbols or etc. Self sign-up enabled, make the user pool understand that we want user to be able to self sign up. And then we create a user pool client that allow outflows user password. This means that we want to log in via user and password. So this is the very simple cognito pool that we create here. Then we have the test file that you see. Test file is only a test that makes sure that the resource is created and it has the properties that we want it to have. Then the rest of the files are just configuration files.